And we're about to find out. The umpires, Michael Vozzo, Derek Woodcock and Dean Margetts. At the first bounce, Stephen Quartermain.
Thanks, Tim. Ground is in magnificent condition here at Amy Stadium as we start this game. And we'll have a secondary bounce in the middle. Congratulations to Stephen Powell playing his 100th tonight, and to James Begley, the former Saint, notching up his 50th.
Been a long journey for Stephen Powell, starting with the Bulldogs and then to the Demons and now with the Saints.
Doty gets first clear possession of the evening to half forward. There's John Cock, scrubby kick to the forward pocket. Leading the race for the ball is Penny, the quiet achiever for the Saints. Here's Carey, but the handball was astray. And they'll have a throw in the Crows' forward pocket.
Wayne Carey starting at full forward, not the usual centre-half forward position. And Penny his opponent.
And the hand pass that missed him came from the youngster. First gamer, Luke Jericho, 19 years of age. Crows have it deep in attack, but St Kilda with numbers at the ball. Harvey taking them on. Stengline arrives, Edwards hemmed in. Good centering kick, keeps it well and truly alive, but Stevens over exuberant. Maguire waited, and it was his ball at the drop. Now Guerra with smart, McLeod arrives. Takes on Powell and beats him off. And kicks well, won't carry to Carey. Stevens has got it. The former Swan moving to the city of Churches after 4 years beside the harbour.
Maguire just not quite able to get a fist on that. Maguire's kick, when he cleared it, he didn't make sweet connection, kicked it high. You can see Maguire coming in a bit late there. Should have done better than that.
Chance for a flyer. Long testing kick and missing on the near side. The first score is a minor.
No, it's early days, but Andrew McLeod been indifferent this year, Robbie. Looks switched on tonight.
Yes, well, they certainly need McLeod and Rashudo to have very good games if they're going to win, because they haven't got an abundance of quality midfielders, this Crows team.
Jones goes short to ball. Who gives it back to Jones? To the wing, the kick's poor. Turnover, ricochets off the elbow of Burton to John Cock. 52 out, goes for home and threads it through. Great goal. Poor skill error has cost the Saints.
Well, it has, and Aussie Jones lined up on John Cock, and that's an interesting matchup because Aussie Jones is the player who sets up so much attack, but a poor kick, a poor left foot pass, comes back and it goes to his opponent, so it just rubs salt into the wounds for Aussie. Good kick by John Cock on the run.
Graham John Cock kicked 6 on this ground against this team in the second half of last season. He's given Adelaide a flyer. Del Santo wrapped up. Lenny Hayes has been started by his coach out on a half-forward flank, and the coach is finding something in the early part quite amusing.
You don't see that too often.
He's had an interesting week. Clark, well-judged leap. Del Santo again, though, on his non-preferred side, did it beautifully. Has wonderful skills. Used the left, McLeod down the back half, and Guerra into his back. Or held his arm.
No, you're not. Go the footy. No problems in at all.
Brent Guerra having missed the first 3 rounds after an incident at the start of the Wizard Cup final. Well done by Maguire, taking Stevens out of that contest. 15 all there in the early part. Rewald arriving, but Burton across in front, playing for a 50. I don't think there was any contact at all. Off to Rashudo.
Kicks to the wing. It's a 2-on-1 contest in favour of the Saints. Del Santo has support in Goddard. He goes long, back inside 50. And by himself, sitting all by himself, as Brent Guerra said, thank you very much. Uncontested mark inside 50. He'll shoot from goal from 35.
And he'll be very keen to do well because he was suspended in the Wizard Cup Grand Finals, copped the 3-week suspension. And they must think very highly of him, brought him straight back into the side. Good for the Saints. The passage of play that got the ball to Guerra was 3 youngsters. There was Goddard, Maguire and Del Santo.
35, Guerra has kicked a goal.
Well, he should know this ground well, Stephen. Adelaide, a country Victorian boy who was recruited by the Power.
Yeah, 65 games for the Power.
Played his 65 games with the Power. Never quite consolidated there. And he's certainly got a few tricks and very trusty on that left foot.
A quick reply from the Saints. This really is their biggest test to date after playing amidst the comfort of Telstra Dome. Noble wins here, but Rashudo steals it. It's physical in there in the early part. Great challenge for Grant Thomas and his rising young team. And, of course, the eyes of Adelaide on Gary Ayres. Bit of holding by Noble, no free kick. Rashudo in the heart of it. Doughty just getting it onto his boot for no result. And now a free kick St Kilda's way.
And the big fella likes to dish off a handball, the big ruckman. He is not a great kick, so if he can give off a handball, he will. At this stage, he just can't find a teammate coming past.
Riewoldt goes for him. That's where he heads, but Johncock is in the way. Now Burton with Goddard arriving, but too late. So Adelaide control the footy across half-back. Johncock keeps running. That was an ambitious effort to get it to him. Now McLeod. And the Crows are out of trouble. Doughty has it behind the wing.
Another short option. Pass is good. He finds Gallagher, who puts it inside 50. Carey wrestles, but chopping from the side as Maguire takes his third mark already tonight. He finds Harvey in the true centre half back. He's got Goddard on. He ignores him. Now he doesn't. Now he goes on the left to Goddard. Works his way to half forward. Got plenty of time to weigh up his options. In slow motion, decides to go for home. No one on him. Long kick into the goal square. 1 point. Stephen Milne going crook, but gee, Goddard had a month of Sundays there.
Yes, well, he, in the end, I think he thought I might as well have a shot on just outside the 50, but Goddard and Burton opposed to each other on the wing.
Massey, the target, and at the second bite. Now a long lead coming from Scott Stevens. St Kilda with numbers, but the Crows control the footy well. This is Jericho, and he's finding in the early minutes that this caper is not always easy.
And we see big Matt Maguire, the St Kilda centre-half back, still a teenager, and virtually forced to play as a key defender in the absence of Maxie Hudson, and doing a fine job.
Rashudo doing the heavy work under the pack. Stevens, Burton just a little surprised by the speed of that. And now a throw in off Luke Ball.
For his teammate. Looking for his teammate.
Saints have possession. This is Ball. Kicks to the 50. Getting there first is McLeod. Good tackle by Hayes. McLeod has support. Ends up in the hands of Henschel, who squares it up to his skipper, Rashudo. Waste no time. Sweeping handball at Begley, the former Saint in his 50th. Sidesteps an old teammate. Goes to centre half forward. Good kick. Great spoil by Peckett. Falls to Noble. Handball puts his teammate Voss under pressure. Comes to Stevens, to the goal square. Penny uses his weight. Here's a chance for Johncock, second. Graham Johncock's kick too. He's doing it both ends of the ground at the moment, Rob.
Well, that's a real bonus for the Crows, because his opponent is Aussie Jones. It'll mean that Aussie has to tighten up, has to pay respect to Johncock, and they will miss some of the drive that usually comes from Aussie Jones. But Stevens does well to get the ball onto the boot. I like the effort of Wayne Carey's. He's being held onto, gets the one hand on it, and drops the ball down into the path of Johncock. And that is a terrific start for Johncock, who, Tim, I just think is one of the most developing players over here with the Crows.
Have the Saints got another option for him if required?
Perhaps Voss.
He's explosive, isn't he? And Thomas going with Jones' speed off the mark, but it hasn't worked so far. Stenglein wins it away again for the Crows. There is Voss, and he takes a fine defensive mark in front of Jericho.
The other option is Peckett, who's playing back pocket. on Tyson Edwards, maybe the switch from those two. But if you do that, you're getting Aussie Jones on the full back line. They don't want him way back there.
Saints well covered, and a wayward pass hits Gallagher in midfield, and Adelaide can continue to apply pressure. Real sense of energy about the Crows early here. They could be hard to stop. Here's Carey arriving, having to go the spoil, and Voss's courage tested to the limit again, with Carey arriving like a truck. Now the veteran has it. Now Burton. And they're forced to retreat a little. The veteran smart, rising 35. An original Crow, the only one left. Almost McGregor. In fact, he's been paid a free kick.
Blind time, Cam, don't play on.
So another scoring chance. The man on the mark, only 30 out.
And Kazitsky just caught behind, a couple of metres behind, a little bit slow on the uptake. And this could be a fine start for the Crows if McGregor can put this through.
Ken McGregor, as we haven't seen him in recent years.
In fashion, that haircut.
It's good. He has threaded it. The Crows by 2 goals. Well, the danger signs there already, I would think, for St Kilda, simply in that Adelaide look tuned in. There's a big crowd, expectation is high. They have a lot to play for.
Yes, they do, Tim, and they've certainly got some size up forward with McGregor and Welsh, Wayne Carey. And Matthew Clark rucking against Noble. Both of them, of course, played with Brisbane a few years back.
Come on, guys.
Another bounce in the middle.
Easy, guys. Thanks, mate.
Full house here tonight too. Great sight.
Just be interesting to see who the second ruckman will be for both sides, because Blake is missing, injured. He's been the second ruckman for the Saints, and Bigland suspended last week.
Burton with his head over the football. Does he get the free? He doesn't. Powell into the pocket. Gehrig wrestles to the front against Bassett. Little soccer by Bassett's good. Stengline fed it out well to Massey, to McLeod. Sells the dummy beautifully to Goddard. Now bangs it long to the wing. John Cox underneath it. Flying from the side is Clark, and the marker's paid.
And that's what Crow supporters will be pleased to see. The big fella's the best tap ruckman in the game, but doesn't do enough around the ground as far as marks and kicks go. And you just wonder why you would kick the ball to that spot as you go forward. On the boundary line, too easy for the St Kilda defenders.
Had a bit of a rough initiation, hasn't he, Jericho?
Yes, it looked as though
his teammate might have given him a bit of a spray.
Might have given him a spray. Yeah.
And ball is changing off the ball on a half-forward flank. Smart, the opponent.
Bump forward by Stengline. There's Jericho. Did well, fed out the handball to the man who sprayed him, Burton. That'll make him happier.
And again, it's a Crows kick going forward towards the boundary line. Very easy for St Kilda to get a fist on it and put it out of bounds. Why that kick didn't go to the top of the goal square, I don't know.
Crows continue to attack.
Got plenty of space between the contest and the goals here.
Noble, nice effort down to Del Santo. Jones ambitiously doubling back. Del Santo. John Cox, a strong man. Didn't let him free. Jones clears. Rewalt. Henschel has picked him up, incidentally. Big ask for a half a dozen gamer.
Thanks, guys. Good stuff.
Umpire Woodcock breaks them up.
Well, 10-4 inside 50s in favour of the Crows. That's a really good start for them.
Footy, guys. Watch the footy. No footy.
And St Kilda making the early mistakes, as our clanger count indicated. 8-1. The veteran Smart. Hayes on ball now. Noble. Del Santo having a bit of it. Here's Goddard. Awkward one at his bootlaces. Now Smart. Edwards. The Crows look good. Doughty. That's a more central kick. Big pack. Carey's lunge just didn't get him into the affair. So a ball up.
Was a better kick, Tim. Just puts it to a more dangerous spot and puts the St Kilda defenders under the pump. And we see Lee Montagna on the bench for the Saints.
Ball spills to Jones. This is his 5th possession. He has had a couple of goals kicked on him. Here's McLeod at half forward, decides to go the long option into the pocket. Carey's there with Penny. Penny's kick's ineffective. Here's a chance for Adelaide, but over it is Maguire to Black, and the Saints out of danger. Long kick to half forward. Oh, that's a good mark. No, not paid. Thought it might have been awarded to Henschel. Edwards got it to Henschel eventually. In heavy traffic, fed out the handball to Gallagher. Gallagher to half forward, finds McGregor.
That's a bit of a worry. Kazitsky caught behind on 2 occasions.
Thanks, mate.
McGregor into the pocket, the leads from John Cock.
And again, a kick to the boundary line. And that's disappointing, just wasting their attacks. If a player can lead to the boundary line, doesn't mean you have to kick to him. It just opens up space behind. And sometimes the player with the football has to make better decisions.
It might have a bit to do with their inaccuracy over the first 3 weeks if they're having to kick them from out there. Clark and Noble again. Noble giving a pretty good account of himself early. Black to Del Santo, who seems to be on the end of everything. Draws Carey and then gives to his opponent. Penny back to Del Santo. Carey, teeth gritted in chase. Rewalt, lovely hands.
That's it, Trent, that's it. Well.
And the Saints build now. Haven't done much attacking. Gehrig and Bassett. Not a lot of support for Gehrig. Harvey is lurking though. Harvey against Bassett. Well done by the dual Brownlow medalist. Brilliantly to Ball, who should run all the way home and nail this, and he will.
And the effort of Gehrig in enabling that ball to get to the back, we'll see it come up. Gehrig just uses his strength to make sure that the ball gets behind. Now we set that up for Harvey. Now we see some brilliance from Robert Harvey down at ground level on his hands and knees, and Ball able to finish it off, but just wonderful play by the 2 veterans.
Tremendous goal from the Saints. Ball finished it off after some great work from Gehrig and Harvey. And the margin narrowed to 1 goal. Hayes on the hard ball to Thompson. Got the free kick for a hold.
No, you still grabbed him, Brett. You still grabbed him. Hold him out there. Hold there.
So Andrew Thompson, pretty much in the middle of Amy's Stadium. Long kick. His target is Rewalt. Sport by Henschel. Now Milne. Scrubby old kick. Gallagher lays the tackle on Noble. Doughty, now Smart, stripped to the footy. Hayes to Ball. Advantage, goal.
And what sensational pressure put on by the St Kilda forwards to again set Luke Ball up for a goal-scoring opportunity. And you can see there, Guerra on his hands and knees does enough to dispossess Smart, keeps the ball free. There's another strong tackle just before that. There's the second one by Guerra. Lenny Hayes with the quick hands, and Ball coming past to receive and finish off. Fantastic football.
Footy, guys, go footy.
Saints back on terms. Adelaide have made a change in the ruck with Hudson. Their number 2 ruckman tonight coming on, and St Kilda retaliated by bringing on Schwarz. Thompson to full forward. Gehrig with good position. Still Gehrig. Guerra, wrong side, knows where they are at Amy Stadium. Saints in front. Guerra has 2. Ball has 2. At the other end, John Cock has 2. St Kilda lead.
Let's have a look at the strength of Gehrig. And again, he sets up his teammates, gets that front position. They've got a spoil on him. He recovers, tackled, but able to give off the little gift to Guerra, who is smart enough to go onto his non-preferred side and kick his 2nd goal for the quarter. 2 small players kicking 2 goals each for the Saints in this first term. Clark off, the Crows ruckman. And Hudson will be the number 2 ruckman. And Schwartz in for St Kilda. That's interesting because Blake has been doing the ruck work. Blake has been doing the ruck work for the Saints. He's injured, so they brought in a light type in Schwartz.
St Kilda had the last 3 goals. I tell you what, they're dishing it out to Adelaide at the moment, the physical stuff. Really tackling hard.
Play on.
Prosciutto gives it everything. Inside 50.
That's fine, going nowhere.
And it'll be interesting to see who does the ruck work for the Saints at the ends of the ground. There's Schwartz. Now, he's not really a ruckman, but they'll just ask for an honest contest.
Well, he got the tap there, but it was snared by Bode, who's just come on the ground. Handballs to Burton. Out in front of Jericho in his first game. They go wide again, Rob.
Another kick wide, and I think we've seen that half a dozen times in this first quarter, and it is just squandering scoring opportunities.
Keep him free.
Doughty on the bench now, having started. At the first bounce, Hudson nicely done to Prosciutto, gave it off. Goddard now. Powell, natural left footer. No sting in the kick, but not a bad placement. Thompson just took it over the line. So St Kilda right in this now after Adelaide won the start.
And there's Andrew McLeod. He's playing off a half-back flank. And when Rob Harvey has a rest, it's McLeod who picks him up.
No takeaway.
And there's big Trent Noble, the number 1 ruckman tonight for the Saints. He'll probably ruck the first 18 minutes of each quarter. And then this fella with the curly hair, Schwartz, he'll take over.
Of course, no Blake for St Kilda, no Biglands, and there won't be for a month for the Crows.
Holding the ball, you brought it down.
Yes.
No clear disposal.
It's a tough rule. It actually discourages people from taking possession of an Australian rules football, which is hardly in keeping with the historical philosophy of the game. Here's Riewoldt. That is a very long ball. Gehrig on the line. Mark it down as another one to the Saints.
Fraser.
Oh, he might bring him around on the angle.
He'll wish it was the Wizard Cup again, where you go to the front, but he didn't quite get sweet connection with that kick, Riewoldt. He was still good enough to kick it 55 metres. And Powell, the man who set Riewoldt up, is coming off for a spell. Aussie Jones coming on.
Shouldn't be a problem, and it isn't. And St Kilda are on a roll.
Kick the last 4 now, Tim.
They've done well, haven't they?
Yeah, they looked a little bit under threat, didn't they? But they've responded.
And that is a thumping long kick. When you get Gehrig running back with the flight of the ball, it is very hard for any defender to be able to spoil him.
So early on it was Grant Thomas with a few worries. Now it's Gary Ayres. Saints have kicked the last 4 goals. They lead by 12 points. Thompson. Burton. Gives it to Prosciutto. Goes out wide. Maguire with strength. Got rid of Welsh. Did it beautifully, the young man. High ball to half forward. Henschel against Riewoldt. Henschel one out. Fed it out to Prosciutto. Now Welsh. Good tackle, Maguire.
Every time they go forward, they go as close as they can to the boundary line. It's not good football. Aussie Jones has been taken off John Cock. Voss has got that job. And Jones has been brought back onto the ground to play as a wingman.
And another stalemate here. Prosciutto has 9 disposals for the Adelaide Crows. Leading the way for the Saints is Del Santo with 7.
And there's Aussie underneath this contest. He'll probably enjoy having a run in the middle of the ground.
Prosciutto and Schwartz in a tug of war. So we'll have a third go here.
Thanks, Mark.
Derek Woodcock bouncing it, and bouncing it truly. Hudson the first hand, played with Werribee in the VFL last year after a few years playing footy in Queensland. and was picked up by Adelaide.
Hit-outs, Adelaide certainly on top, but the takeaways being taken by the Saints, as we see again.
Lovely tap, but to the wrong man. Ball, Rewald. Looked as though he'd been beaten off the mark. He still got to the contest. Massey, though, to McLeod. Now Bode, and McLeod slicing through the middle. Lovely old football park. Edwards arriving late. Voss should have marked it. Rashuto just glanced off an opposing player, but John Cox still dangerous. Now Burton, and he could perhaps nail it from there, and he does. That's beautifully executed. Crows needed it. They're back within a kick.
And good play by Brett Burton, playing on the wing. He started the quarter really well. He was on Goddard. And we see John Cox opts to go wide. Just saw Burton coming from the wing at full speed. And smart footballer, knows that he's got the momentum up, continues the run after taking the mark and has a shot on the run. Well done. And you can see him say to his mate, good vision.
A goal of difference in favour of the Saints. Edwards to Burton, who scored the last goal. Just mocked off as about to kick.
Gee, that was a good tackle by Andrew Thompson on Burton. And Rashuto, he's just about exhausted. He's had 10 disposals in this first quarter. You can see he's puffing pretty hard. He's gone to the full forward area. Peckett to take him.
Doughty, good hands to Smart, who put it out in front of McLeod. In support is Gallagher. Back inside 50 go the Crows. Carey against Penny. Welsh lays the tackle on Maguire. And we'll have a bounce. 45 out from Adelaide's goal.
Crow supporters thought they should have got a free kick there. Did he have prior opportunity?
Free kick off the ball here.
Across the shoulder. Before the bounce.
So the Saints ball. Noble back. Bode edging Thompson out. Did it neatly. And Adelaide have the midfield to themselves. Massey feeding it neatly. Egley. Doughty now. And Edwards arriving fast, and he ties it up. Thrilling opening quarter.
He is a fine player, Tyson Edwards, whether they play him half-back or forward. He knows where the goals are. You see Maguire gives the strong marking attempt there. Ball spills to the front. Good handball into the middle corridor to set the running Tyson Edwards up, and they are back in the contest.
That's been a high-class game in this first quarter. 10 goals kicked. Time for a couple more too as the Crows go back into attack. Oh, bad bounce. Favours Welsh slightly. He tapped it to Bode. Onto his preferred right, out into space to McLeod, runs onto it now, he's hemmed in the pocket, he has a ping, it's across the face, it's a mark to Rashuto. So the Roo, you can hear the crowd going Roo, Roo. And he'll run around here on his right and try and slot it through, he plays on and kicks a goal. Crows in front. What a quarter Mark Rashuto has had. 11 disposals. He's gone up for a rest and kicked the goal.
He's had a fantastic first quarter, the Crows skipper. And again, good vision by Bode to see the running McLeod coming from the wing position. I'm not sure whether he tries to set that up or have a shot. I think he tries to set it up. And the two of them, McLeod and Rashuto, they are the key to this team. Everybody knows that. McLeod, 10 disposals coming off the half-back line, and Rashuto, 11.
Been 3 distinct phases to the opening quarter. And the Crows rolling at the moment have kicked the last 3. Jones the Saints. Oh, get your kick, Matt Maguire. He was tardy and he paid the price. Burton now. Crows dangerous again. Here's Jericho. The youngster's got it. And that is a good kick. It gives Carey a shot. Rashudo waiting down. Maguire again. Voss looked as though he thought the whistle had gone. Eventually they forced it through for a behind. It's just the Crows' second. They're the accurate Crows tonight. There's just been the one miss. And they've hit the target 6 times.
And again, good forward line pressure by the Crows. Made it hard for the Saints to clear.
Lenny Hayes has got it. Ordinary kick to a 2-on-1 contest favouring Adelaide. Actually, well done by Noble in the end to get first hand onto it. Sloppy handball. Did better the second time. To Del Santo, who breaks the tackle. Now squares it up. Good kick, but the siren beats Fraser Carey. And at the first break, it's the Crows by 7.
Well, the Crows worked really hard the last 8 minutes of that quarter because they started well. The Saints came back and banged goals on the board unanswered, and we thought it might have been a bit of a runaway for St Kilda, but they fought back particularly well, and they've had 20 forward line entries to St Kilda's 9, so they lead by 7 points. Perhaps it could be even more than that had they not gone so wide in the first part of that first quarter.
38 plays 31. First change, round 4. The Crows lead the Saints by 7 points. Let's go to Christy Malthouse and Mark Aston.
Well, there's no major injuries to report for St Kilda. Penny had a lot of attention on his face. He was involved in a heavy collision in the first quarter. They were looking at his nose, but he seems right to stay on the ground. Grant Thomas, very animated in that huddle, and he was kept quite busy during the first quarter, using the bench quite a lot.
No injuries for Adelaide, which is good news for Crows supporters. A couple of good points. Andrew McLeod's been under enormous pressure over the last 3 or 4 weeks regarding his form. He started to get a bit of the footy, and I can't believe the scoreline, 6-2. That's the most accurate the Crows have been for a long time.
Yes, number 1 in worst scoring accuracy in the AFL before tonight at 42.6%. Done well so far with 6-2.
And Trent Noble with 7 disposals in that first quarter. That is probably the best he's ever done in a game of AFL, to get 7 disposals in a quarter of football. And Matthew Clark, his opponent, rucking particularly well.
And interesting to see St Kilda number 35 disappearing to the dugout behind Christy Malthouse during her report. Robert Harvey starting the second term on the bench.
They're happy to share the work in the midfield. There's John Cock, Brett Voss, his opponent now. Had Stephen Baker played for the Saints, I feel pretty sure that he would have gone on to John Cock. That's the sort of role that Baker's played, so they will miss him.
Hayes at the bottom of it. Quiet first quarter. Started on a flank, thrown into the midfield late in the piece. Had it 4 times. Didn't have major impact. Noble to Powell. Smart got hold of him. So it's very tight. Umpire Vozzo to have another crack at separating them. Adelaide by 7 points. Montagna with Harvey, Moyle and Black. So still no break. Have a crack at it, Quarters. See what you can do.
The Crows bench. This time it's cleared. Ball to Thompson, to Black. Scrubby old kick to half forward, out in front of Rewalt. Henschel snapping at his heels.
And you'd have to say Henschel's done a fair job first up. Rewalt, just the 2 kicks in the first quarter, and known for being one of the best starters in the game. His first quarters have usually been his best.
Soccer by Burton to Smart. Nicely picked up by Thompson, well done. Got it out to Maguire. Kicks to half forward, it's all Crows. Here's McLeod. Disposal number 11 for him, to half forward. Kazitsky got the fist on it, dispossessed by Welsh. Running onto it is John Cock. Handballs to himself, bowled over by Maguire. Fair enough too. Crows fans calling for a free kick, but that was well played by Maguire.
It was by Maguire because the temptation would have been there to grab hold of John Cock. He was hoping for a free kick. He just put the handball out in front of himself, and Maguire smart enough not to hang on.
bounce on the line. Ball bounce on the line. I was watching it.
And Carey trying to pinch a free kick. Might have been a bit of a bone rattler. That one looks a bit groggy, John Cock.
Come on, guys. What's the arms?
Deep into the Crows' attacking territory.
Come on.
Clark got the tap, it went straight to Penny. St Kilda out of danger, but only as far as Burton.
And he goes for distance. Carey in the midst of it, but McGregor in front of him. Benefited, in fact, by the wall that Carey built. And he should put Adelaide 13 points in front. Carey hasn't had a kick yet, but he did everything right there. And Ken McGregor is the beneficiary. Man on the mark, only 15 out. McGregor has his second. Crows by 13. They loaded up with talls early. Stevens sitting on the bench at the start of the second quarter, but there still is ample marking power there.
And as you called it, Tim, just good protection from Wayne Carey for his teammate who was in front.
So this packed stadium starting to find some voice.
There's McLeod on the centre-half back line. Heath Black, his opponent. Black's instructions are keep him quiet.
Easier said than done. Bode, who's played some good footy since he's come on. Got it to Rashudo, and there's that man. Rashudo to McLeod. To half forward. Looks for Jericho. Got it free, did he?
Yeah, no eyes for the footy. No eyes for the footy.
We heard that, no eyes for the footy.
It's been hot on that tonight, Rob.
Yes, and Goddard struggling to get into this game. Started on the wing, was benched, now back on.
He goes long. Oh, that's a terrific mark.
Thank you. Right,
taken by Kazitsky.
And he needed that, Stephen, because he's been beaten by McGregor in the first 35 minutes of this game.
Penny. Now Jones. Saints under pressure. Early in the second. They led 5 goals to 3. Adelaide have kicked the last 4. Jones, a survivor of that 1997 grand final between St Kilda and Adelaide. Now Goddard. One of the rising young tyros. Still in the fledgling stage of his career. Here's a beautiful mover. Plenty of size about him. Guerra. Couldn't pick it up on the full, and the Crows getting there in numbers. Rashuto, he and McLeod have had 25 possessions between them. That was a Burton statistic, but not one that will have an impact on the match. He's turned it over. Del Santo to take it. As the Saints look to try and get something going in this second term.
Play on your end, play on, play on, play on, play on, play on.
Well, Del Santo's about the only person that didn't hear that call. But he had enough presence of mind to just keep his cool and go to the wing.
It was heard all over Australia.
Thompson takes an excellent mark on centre wing. Looks for Rewalt. Couldn't hang on to it. Smart to Begley, who goes up the middle. Here's Jericho. Carey hasn't had a kick as yet. Another handball was a good one to Jericho, who slapped it out. To Gallagher in heavy traffic. John Cock might get his third. Oh, he's missed from 15. They were at 88% their accuracy, and he's just ruined that. That was an easy miss, but it's always easy up here.
Well, it was a bad miss, and well done by Wayne Carey to set that up. He was tackled, he used his strength to shrug off the tacklers, and then was able to get the handball to advantage. And Stevie Milne has been replaced by Montagna.
Saints haven't looked like entering their 50 in this quarter. It's been all Adelaide. Very short from Jones to Hayes. Voss. And Montagna, as Robert mentioned, on the ground, kicking long. Rewalt found himself on the wrong side of the pack. Henschel well tackled by Kazitsky. Rewalt. Now Black. Noble. trying to work it to release somebody. Hayes, well tackled by Bode. This is good from Adelaide. The clamps are on. The Saints are being tested.
Just some really strong tackling by the Crows in this quarter, putting the pressure on the St Kilda midfield. The worry is, of course, St Kilda can rotate at least 10 players through the middle. The Crows can't.
Prosciutto. Goddard fisted it away from Jericho. Fell into the hands of Del Santo. Goes to Guerra, who's kicked a couple of goals. Scrubs one inside 50. Well played, smart. Trapped it nicely. Kept his feet. Got it to Burton to Prosciutto. Sweeps it out wide. This is Massey to the wing. Good kick. Mark taken by McGregor. 4 disposals, 3 marks. And a couple of goals. Burton's been busy. It's blazed away inside 50, and it was cut off by Noble. He gives it to Jones. He's going to switch to the members' side.
Now Peckett. Saints getting some overlap going. Montagna. For Kazitsky, 2 of them to beat. McLeod did well to wrap him up. Kazitsky, the bigger man, played it well. Montagna now, and the Saints enter the 50 for the first time this quarter. Gehrig cleverly, but well done by Begley, arrived hard. Bode now, Smart. Hard-nosed veteran he is, Nigel Smart. Thompson to Peckett, who kicked a couple of weeks ago, and he sets one up now for Brent Guerra.
And Tim, if we go back to that contest situation where the Crows had it, St Kilda tackled them, the Crows had it, the Saints came again. Eventually Thompson was able to free it up and get that handball out. But this was the effort by Kazitsky just before that on the wing. You got a giant of a man able to do it over a couple of smaller opponents. Very well done.
Tight angle for Brent Guerra, who wants to make sure his laces are tied up before he gets down to the business of lining up the shot for goal. But he is a left footer, and he's a good kick. He has 2. And now he has 3, and he keeps the Saints in touch.
Gee, he's been a handy pickup, Rob.
He has, and I just thought his Wizard Cup form was pretty good, and they would be delighted to have him back in the team. They're fortunate his suspension is up because a couple of other players like Hamill and Baker are out. Great effort there by Kazitsky. And this is the contest on the half-forward flank for St Kilda. Rewalt puts the tackle on. We see a pretty sloppy handball there. Montagna gives another effort. Just really well done by the Saints.
Crows by 8. Guerra's got 3 in his first official AFL game for St Kilda. Edwards has to handle on it. Gee, it's tough in the clinches.
It is tough in the clinches, Stephen, but it's intriguing to watch it because over the last 5 or 6 years, the Crows have made their name as hard in close. Maguire's been moved on to McGregor, who was too good for Kazitsky in that role.
Noble, another possession, as he handballs to centre half forward. Over the top of it is Gallagher.
But the Crows, led by Prosciutto, McLeod, Goodwin, Tyson Edwards, you know, they've got the reputation as being really hard and tough in close, but this St Kilda team is forging a reputation as doing the same, so it'll be a really good contest.
Well, McLeod, Burton and Prosciutto have 40 disposals between them already as the Saints go into attack, deep into attack. The fist from the top came from Bassett. Here's Smart, lost it. Again, tight and tough in close. And another bounce. Yeah, but Prosciutto's got 15, Burton 13, and McLeod a dozen. While for the Saints, their only man in double figures is Noble, Rob. Got 10.
Yeah, and that's amazing, but good on him. He's risen to the challenge. He has to carry that ruck roll in the absence of his mate, Blake.
8 points in it. Saints looking to cut it, and they might. Powell is a left footer, and he's got it. It's back to 2 points. And twice St Kilda have found themselves just struggling a bit in this match, but both times they've been able to hit back. And an interesting stat, Rob, is that the entries to the 50 are 25-13 Adelaide's way. Almost 2-1, and yet the margin is 2 points.
Yes, well, they've taken their chances when they've gone forward, the Saints. But again, good effort by Kazitsky down low. We saw an effort 5 minutes back on the wing. And it's really good to see big fellas show that once the ball gets below their knees, they're not useless.
Stephen Powell celebrates his 100th with a goal. Some rare praise from big men from Robert Walls. Never spoke like that to Big Nick, did you?
No.
Powell to the 50. Good kick and a nice mark taken by Rewald. Waste no time. Garrick's one out, got rid of his opponent, but getting back courageously in that black hole was Massey.
Get out, get out!
Gee, that's lucky it's not 50.
Well, it's one or the other, isn't it?
Boy, any sort of literal interpretation would have compelled the umpire to bring him back, I would think. Now, this is Henschel, hesitant, decides on the bounce, and delivers reasonably well to young Jericho. Now, Clark, Begley, Gallagher. Not a great deal of authority about the build-up, but they've kept possession. McGregor back to Gallagher. Too far out to score, and he slots it to Welsh, who can line them up. They always looked as though they were going to turn it over at some point.
It was hard work, but eventually they got what they wanted, which is a mark inside the forward 50. And this would be a good answer for the Crows if he can put it through after the Saints have got the last two.
Scott Welsh, a premiership player, of course, of the late 90s, but not with Adelaide. With the Kangaroos. Goes from outside 50 and sends it very wide. Burton's in there, the Birdman. Rasciuto, terrific smother though, and the Saints save the day. Del Santo for Peckett now. 200 gamer for the Saints. And does pretty well on the left side for Kazitsky, who again off his knees is able to make something of it for Black. And now Rewalt covering so much territory across half forward. And placing it thoughtfully for Noble, who dropped into the hole and had about 20 centimetres on Doughty.
Great call, Tim, and that's exactly what Rewalt did. He was going to unwind with a big kick to the goal square. A great smother there in defence by St Kilda, put on by Del Santo. And we'll just have a look at Rewalt. He's going to kick it long, and then he sees Noble, the ruckman, coming down the middle corridor, and he just pops it up for him. Smart football. Saints have got Kazitsky and Rewalt both playing across half forward now, with Gehrig back in the goal square.
This for the lead. And the crowd go very quiet. Saints back in front.
Well, I want you to describe that kick for goal. Was that a flat punt, a drop punt, a mongrel punt?
It was a mongrel punt. Ugly, but effective.
Peter Hudson says the mongrels tend to go straight, even when you miscue it.
Well, Big Nick used to kick mongrel punts, and it was hard work for the goal umpire because he went from one side to the other because the ball just swung.
Well, Trent Noble is rewarded with his 5th goal of his career by being benched, but obviously going into a plan, having a break.
And that means Schwartz will do the ruck work. They'll just want an honest contest out of him.
Saints in front, great accuracy, 8-1, plays 7-3 as the Crows go into attack. Goddard, his handball found Jones. He backs himself, puts the foot on the gas, has one bounce, drills it long, looks for Rewalt. Starting to come into the game, yep. Out to Black, into the pocket. Well played, Bassett, who's done a good job on Gehrig so far. McLeod. Chain of handballs, ends up in the arms of Burton. Disposal number 14 for him. Long kick in the direction of John Cock, takes a good mark. Kick 2, should have had 3. Long kick to Carey. On the 3rd bite, the King's got it.
Did he have the first and second? Beyond any doubt. The umpire's satisfied anyway.
Well, it was good to see John Cock kick it along to the centre corridor. He leapt early, did Wayne.
Yeah, that'll do.
And very hard for the umpire not to pay that.
So Wayne Carey had only 2 handballs so far, only 25 out. Bread and butter for him, and he slots it through. So Carey gets his first, and it's the Crows back in front. 51 plays 49.
And it was just a really good transference of play from the back pocket, started by McLeod. It brought in Burton along the wing, up to John Cock and then to Carey. And Burton with 14 disposals on the wing is having a fine game. McLeod with 13, Rasciuto with 15.
Great struggle. Lots of Adelaide promotions on that TV in Grant Thomas's coaching box, but he is blissfully unaware of them, no doubt. Adelaide back in front. That's the big issue. Rasciuto. Voss again with blind courage. Back with the flight.
Back two.
And hugging it to his chest.
Right there, hasn't gone yet.
One of the most admirable players in the game.
Right for the call.
Brett Voss. Harvey, having started the quarter on the bench, being paced by his coach. Massey just getting a boot in there. And Edwards is able to benefit from it for Adelaide. That's ambitious. 1 on 3, even though it was Rasciuto. The odds overwhelming. Hayes running for Harvey. And St Kilda look good here. Gehrig one out with Bassett. He is big, he's strong, and he's got good hands.
And what he does, Tim, he just sticks his rump out and makes it very hard for a smaller defender, and Bassett is smaller than him. You can just see he just puts the behind and the back out, stretches the arms forward, and it just means that a smaller defender cannot get a fist on the football. Clever play.
So for another change in the lead. And again, the crowd deftly quiet. Saints back in front. Gehrig second. Not too many St Kilda fans here.
Brave man. He's played him well so far, Bassett, but he's still got 2 goals, Fraser Gehrig.
He's kicked 2 goals, and I reckon he's set another 2 up, so he's doing a pretty good job. And we can see the switch has been made. The stronger, more experienced Nigel Smart onto Fraser Gehrig. That, I think, is a good move.
Saints by 4. Stenglein puts Adelaide into attack, but only as far as
Mark's there.
Austin Jones.
And they've got Aussie back on John Cock.
Yeah.
Del Santo's got a loose man on over the top in Schwarz. He's got a bit of room to work with. And he does it nicely as he finds a teammate in Rewalt, who again swings around on the right, pops it up. Looks for Kazitsky, Smart, with strength breaks the tackle to Stenglein, to Massey, Welsh in unfamiliar territory in the back pocket, lost it. Voss kept it alive, Guerra to Gehrig. Brilliant play, St Kilda, but they just couldn't finish off with a goal. That was clever.
And Tim, did it remind you of Wayne Harms, being an old Carlton supporter?
I'm not going to mention it. Every time I do, I have letters and emails from Collingwood supporters, so I'll stay right out of it. Doughty now steering it down the middle for Adelaide. They were lucky to get out of that. This is Scott Stevens. Rewalt, what territory he covers. He's becoming hugely influential in this match. Goddard now in the heat of the battle. Schwarz dumped.
Oh, good tackling by Mark Rasciuto. Hit in hard, and the fans, they appreciate it.
Go back to the line, guys.
Tremendous struggle, isn't it?
Is it out of bounds? No.
About the same spot as the Harms ball back in '79.
He took possession, then he threw it out.
St Kilda free kick. Troy Schwarz to take it.
Centre breaks in the match so far. 9-3 in favour of the Crows. 4-1 this quarter.
Just a pity we didn't have the long lens cameras in 79 to tell the truth of that controversial story.
Black. Looking for Kazitsky. Henschel does the job on him. Bassett to Massey. Sweeping handle back over the top to Henschel, who kicks in the direction of Burton. They've got the numbers here, the Crows. Rasciuto back over to Burton. Good tackle, Del Santo. Good hard running from Nick Del Santo.
And Goddard left his opponent to come and help on the wing there. Did everything right except make contact with the ball, let it get over the back. And Del Santo and Burton having a crackerjack duel out on that outer wing.
The big fist came from Hudson, but it's snared by Harvey. Back to half forward. Gehrig marks against Smart.
He's got Riewoldt and Kazitsky in the forward 50, but he lays off to Lenny Hayes.
He does. Who can run on here, Lenny Hayes? Got a couple of options. Decides to handball to Black, who's forced to go backwards to Gehrig. Running themselves into trouble here, the Saints. Gehrig's handballs astray. Mucked around with it too much. Adelaide Crows off the hook as Henschel's handball finds McLeod.
And the Crows did well there. Maguire. McGregor just making the spoil. John Cock, well done. Got out of the Del Santo tackle, but brought down and gone. Oh, good stuff.
Super tackle by the big man, Tim. There's a centre half back getting a nippy half forward flanker and bringing him down and winning the free kick.
He is a goer, Maguire. Hayes. Now Moyle. Hasn't had a lot of game time. Come on late in both quarters. Del Santo again. Big possession earner for the Saints.
This is his 12th, and Burton, his opponent, has had 16.
Moyle kept on coming. So the Saints in the last couple of minutes looking to set something up. Goal would be very handy. Be a big confidence booster. Henschel did okay to rattle it away from Riewoldt. Massey well tackled by Black.
Come on, guys, no chance.
So a ball up.
No chance, no chance. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Chris. 20, guys.
Huge number of players around the ball. Milne back on for the Saints. Kick by Bode. There's a hurried one. And it only goes as far as Del Santo. Now he's got plenty of time here to weigh up his options. Goes into the corridor. Kazitsky the double fist from behind. Thompson's there. Gets crushed by 3 Crows.
Just got a feeling Kazitsky meant to hit that ball down to Andrew Thompson, and if he did, how clever is that? Now the Crows have got numbers back. They've really flooded their defence, so a quick kick out by the Crows will go to a St Kilda player most likely.
Hudson did it nicely. This is Massey. Jericho just got a hand on it. Oh, Edwards got caught high. Umpire let it go. Schwarz. Hayes, quick hands to Goddard. Got Voss in support. Too slow, run down, but Hayes is there again. Picks it up for the Saints. He's got Voss in support. Voss takes the ball to the 50. No one home, so he has a shot. It's coming back. It's a ripper. Great goal by Brett Voss. And the Crows fans go berserk.
And it was a super goal by Voss because he looked at his options midfield, and when he looked up, every St Kilda teammate was covered by a Crows player because the Crows had flooded back. Good effort there by Goddard to keep that ball alive. Lenny Hayes runs and draws the opponent, Rasciuto. He had a quick look inboard, saw that there were plenty of Crows there, then decided to have a shot for himself. And one of the most improved players in the AFL is Brett Voss. And Burton having a spell.
So the Saints lead by 11 points in the shadows of half-time, and they press again. They're finishing this first half full of running, and they'll get a free kick.
Straight with his back. Man in front.
But the seconds are tipping it away, and Andrew Thompson is not going to be able to kick a goal from there, and neither is Robert Harvey. And neither is Nick Del Santo. So, although he'll have a shot, the halftime situation at Amy Stadium is that St Kilda lead the Crows by 11 points.
Yeah, 10-2-62 plays the Crows 8-3-51. It's been a seesawing contest, but it is the Saints with their noses in front at halftime. Beautiful night in Adelaide. It is a full house, and we're ready for the third quarter action with the Saints leading by 11 points at halftime. 10-2 plays 8-3 after the Crows led by 7 points at the first break.
And the Crows have put McLeod in the forward 50 and Nigel Smart in the forward 50. McGregor, who was pretty handy up forward in the first half, has gone to centre half back on Rewalt.
Clark got the first tap, did it nicely too to Doughty. Over the top to Gallagher. Good positive start by the Crows. Jericho no mark. Snared by McLeod. Gives the handball over to Welsh. Hemmed in. Squares it up to Johncock.
Brilliant kick.
It was a brilliant kick to a dangerous spot. And Aussie Jones caught napping. Caught 2 metres behind the dangerous Johncock. And Graham Johncock. And already the McLeod move forward has worked. The Welsh kick is a beauty. And you can see Aussie Jones trailing Johncock in. And maybe Voss will have to be moved back onto Johncock.
Well, this is a big quarter in the context of the Adelaide Crows season. Johncock from point-blank range kicks his third. So good start for the Crows. Good positive football. Great kick from Scott Welsh, as Tim Lane alluded to, and Johncock finished it off.
And it gives everybody a lift because Gary Ayres has made some moves. McLeod featured in that bit of play. Smart kick by Welsh. Johncock on top of the dangerous Aussie Jones. And you can see Johncock's really trying to rev the crowd up to get behind them. Good on him.
The pattern is becoming familiar. The Crows come out steaming at the start of each quarter. St Kilda soak it up and then take over. Rashuto leading from the front. Here's Welsh, who figured in that last one. Stengline now spent time on the bench in the first half. Johncock arriving. Penny did well to get a hand in there. Harvey for Peckett. He'll be under the pump from McLeod, who's got him. Well done. Could have opened the door. Danger here. Gallagher. Good kick. Crows back in front.
Bang, bang.
And again, McLeod featured in the action. Now, McLeod played a very good first quarter. He was quietened in the second quarter by Heath Black. And you can see Peckett cuts one way, goes the other. Not quick enough for Andrew McLeod, who drags him down, forces the error. Gallagher able to clean up and finish off.
Well, this is a sizzling start to the third quarter for the Crows. They pinch the lead back. They lead by a point. The 6th change of lead in the game so far. Rashuto in the middle again. Fed out the handball. Powell in his 100. Penetrating kick inside 50. Great mark, McGregor.
And again, another positive. McGregor, who was moved to centre half back, wins the first contest he's involved with Rewalt.
Terrible kick from Burton. Pinched by Del Santo, goes into the pocket. Guerra.
Hurt by Tyson. That was okay.
The courage of Kazicki running back with the flight of the ball.
The struggle goes on here. The Saints' biggest test to date. In the most hostile of territory. Clark favoured by a short throw in. Guerra had his chance, had his moment. Thompson, Gehrig, and he's done it. And the lead changes for the 7th time. Gehrig has his 3rd goal, 1 in each quarter.
I think he's going crooked the boundary umpire for not throwing it in far enough because he's doing the ruck work. You can see it drop short, so he's not very happy. Good effort by Andrew Thompson. sharp hands onto his left boot, just able to beat the smother. And after he kicks a brilliant goal, he gives the boundary umpire a burst. That's fair.
As you do.
And there was an appeal for a touch ball, I think, off the boot there by an attempted smotherer. No dice.
So the Saints back in front. Harvey at the bottom of that pack. And he's been pinned.
Had the ball. Two of you had the ball, and you dragged it in. Two had the ball.
So Crows into attack again. Doughty's found some space. Couldn't take the mark, but he's got time to recover. Threads the handball to Gallagher, to Burton.
And he's a master at running forward of the play is Brett Burton. You can see his opponent on the mark, Del Santo, just a youngster. And he just needs to be very much aware that once the Crows win possession in the middle of the ground, this fella with the footy, he will just sprint forward. And Del Santo just has to be very much aware of that. Otherwise, Brett Burton will end up kicking 4 goals off a wing.
There's Harvey over the top of the football, penalised. Well, Burton's poor kick caused a turnover at the other end, which in the end resulted in a Saints goal. Can he make amends here? Just didn't quite make the distance from about 48 metres out. And that's a rush behind.
Well, it's been such an accurate goal-kicking game, hasn't it? 10-4 to 11-2. We haven't seen many kick-ins at all.
It's quite breezy in the hour or so leading up to the match, but the night really has stilled, and it's being played in just about perfect conditions. That's a lovely kick from Brett Voss.
It had to be, Tim. It had to be pinpoint perfect, which it was. Crows set up a zone defence, so they filled up most of the spaces.
Del Santo. John Cock, good contributor, but very wayward there. So it's Del Santo's ball again. I get sick of saying it on Saturday nights, but this is turning into an epic struggle.
That's good.
Another Saturday night special. Voss. Now Harvey. Gehrig has come a long way from home, and he is receiving everything on nice, receptive hands. Peckett brought down and a ball up.
He was just off balance when he tried to give that handball. And interesting forward setup the Saints have got. Gehrig moved out, and you can see down in the goal square, Guerra playing from the goal square, and also Riewoldt and Kazitsky. So it really opens up the half-forward area.
The ball snared that one from the bounce. Got it to Hayes, back to ball, good tackle, Massey. Crows win with weight of numbers. Here's the skipper, Rashudo, pumps it long. Jericho! That's a great mark from the youngster.
And a great name to call.
Well, he sounds, with a name like Luke Jericho, as though he's got a foot in each testament of the Bible. I'd like to hear walls on Jericho.
Well, he's certainly got that front spot. And Goddard's got to improve his defensive play. We know he's a young talent and he enjoys playing out on the wing and half forward, but when he plays in defence, and he'll need to play in defence at times, just has to be tighter.
In his first game of league football, Luke Jericho has kicked his first goal. Years of age from West Adelaide, started a little bit scratchily, but an excellent mark and finished off with a goal.
And 9 marks inside the forward 50 area to the Crows, 5 to the Saints. Most people would have expected it to be the other way around with the likes of Riewoldt and Gehrig, but they're sharing the work up forward.
19-year-old Luke Jericho gives Adelaide back the lead, which changes hands for the 8th time tonight. Clark beats Noble, lovely ruck work. Gallagher, nice hand pass to Doughty in front of Burton was good. Great move out of the middle by the Crows. That's not so good for Carey, and Penny stood his ground strongly. Goddard now. Hayes.
Well, he cut back Goddard because there was no one out wide on that wing. They'll go there this time.
Black. Del Santo. Oh, beautifully done. In and out of the jaws of death. And a lovely delivery.
Prosciutto had him lined up.
To Stephen Powell. The Saints have been impressive in the way in which they've stood up to every challenge from Adelaide. Kazitsky got his hands onto it and copped it over the shoulder.
You came round his shoulder. Hey, you've got to check now, Justin. Go away and have that. Yeah, he came across
Just the size difference worries Bassett. And brilliant play by Nick Del Santo to spin out of trouble and then hit the target with the left boot. Powell goes the long kick. Bassett, the smaller defender, again caught out.
Gee, that's pretty soft, isn't it, Robert?
I think it is soft, yeah.
Gee.
So, for another change in the lead, he kicks from well back on the mark. He is a thumping kick and he sends it towering through.
And I think the Crow supporters have every right to be annoyed with that call.
8-5, the free kicks in favour of St Kilda.
Just interesting the way they're playing Kazitsky in this quarter. He's barely left the goal square. Over the shoulder, they would have called it. Technically, it's right, but gee whiz.
Saints back in front by 4. Courtesy of a very iffy free kick. Welsh. Ducked ahead. Well, at least the umpires are consistent. Fair enough. Welsh. To Jericho. Who's starting to grow in confidence, and the youngster can go back from 50 metres and slot his second.
And again, Goddard not tight enough, not defensive enough. He thinks that Noble, the ruckman, will do the job. And one thing you learn as a defender is don't rely on your ruckman to do the job. You've got to do it yourself.
Jericho from right on 50. Awkward looking kick. Almost smart from nowhere. Ball still in play. Aussie Jones. Prosciutto's underneath it. Well done by Peckett to spoil. Welsh shrugs the tackle and pops it over the top to Massey, who can have a shot. No, he doesn't. He plays on to Gallagher, who's already kicked one this quarter. Squares it up to the tip of the goal square. John Cock flew high, no mark. Harvey's in there. Threw it out. Ball. Thompson under immense pressure. Goddard under the pump. Stengline tackles. Lenny Hayes is there, snapping at his heels as John Cock. Throw in. Good hard footy.
Oh, terrific football. Well done, Crows forwards. Locked the ball in, made it hard on the Saints to get that out. And how close did Graham John Cock go to securing that mark? Only the fist of Thompson did it.
Nowhere to go even for McLeod there. An enormous battle. What a tense night for Gary Ayres. His team without a win after 3. 2 trips to Melbourne in rounds 5 and 6. McLeod, sleight of foot. Now Smart. Can the veteran do the job? No, he can't. Maguire very solid in front.
And Clark's ruck work to McLeod was brilliant.
Pretty good kick for Peckett. Carey against him. Couple of old-timers. And the older prevails. Does it well. And the Crows can build again. Stengline to Welsh. Still a long way from home.
Well, a couple of young St Kilda defenders in Maguire and Goddard playing from behind and paying the penalty.
Oh, Welsh's kick's poor. Bad turnover. Lenny Hayes steams down the middle. Looks for Nick Riewoldt at centre-half forward. He's spoiled by Gallagher. That was high. And the umpire has given the free kick. Crows supporters go ballistic, but that was there. Riewoldt into the space. Kazitsky couldn't get there. Guerra tries to knock it on. Spills to Harvey from a standing start around the corner. He'll get a point for his efforts. Kazitsky's hurt.
There it is, the spoiler coming over the shoulder.
That was more emphatic than the last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's certain tolerance and should be for a player going for a mark, but the interpretation according to the laws is different if you are attempting to spoil and you make high contact. McLeod presses the accelerator. Carey in front, Penny brings him down. A free kick to Carey.
Did well to hold his ground, the veteran. And I'll tell you what, Wayne Carey on the outer wing out-sprinted Justin Peckett, which makes you think Peckett must be slow.
Now the ball will come back and Carey will kick again.
Blood rule on Luke Penny.
And it's actually national or international haemophilia day today, so we'll keep an eye on bleeding players and spare a thought for those who do bleed a lot. Carey's bled a bit in recent years. Kicks to the hot spot. Not much there for the Crows, and Maguire has outpointed them again. Smart couldn't get into the contest. Not much spring left in his heels these days. Hayes now to Black, and St Kilda hold firm again. And now Harvey. They'll come at him. He'll need to get his kick, and he does it beautifully to Rewalt. And St Kilda build with menace. Jones, well placed for Gehrig. All plays on, but it'll be okay. Guerra kicks his fourth and puts the Saints further in front.
And again, unselfish football from Fraser Gehrig, the strong mark in the contest situation. We don't see enough of it in AFL today. But Robert Harvey sets Rewalt up. The automatic play on to Aussie Jones on the left foot. It's a beautiful kick. And again, Gehrig, when he's running backwards, is very hard to spoil. Decides to play on, whips it out to Guerra. And unselfish football, and Brent Guerra enjoying, well, it's his first senior game of AFL for the Saints.
5 contested marks to Fraser Gehrig, 4 to Maguire. Rashudo bursts his way through with sheer strength. Handballs to half forward. Coming through hard also was Goddard. Has his handball smothered, gets it back. Now goes out wide, looking out there for Moyle. To the wing. Massey will get there first for the Crows. To Edwards. Just evades the Guerra tackle. Not sure what to do with it. Onto the left. The option was a good one. He finds Smart. The second oldest player in the AFL. He's 35 in May. Just behind Alistair Lynch. Inside 50 go the Crows, but it's a mark taken by Schwartz.
And Schwartz certainly doing the job as the second ruckman when he comes on.
And he has Voss in the proverbial paddock down the outer side. Saints look the far more dangerous side when they go forward, and there's one of the reasons. They're too far out this time, but he hasn't minded setting them up for others, and that's what he's done here. Stephen Milne can ram it home. The Saints by 17.
Well, Stephen Milne wasn't the target, but it just got over the hands of the big fellas. And did he need that? Because he's only had the one kick to that stage of the game. And again, we see Gehrig, the ultimate team player, bang, hard and low drop punt, just gets over the hands. And Stephen Milne, I reckon he'd breathe a sigh of relief, because he knows that he's on the verge of being taken off the field, having a very lean night.
Centre breaks, look at that, a domination by Adelaide, but not on the scoreboard. St Kilda continue to answer all challenges. Stenglein has his kick partially smothered. Thompson. Now Welsh, fed out the handball to no one in particular. There's Noble, the big fella did it well to Maguire, who's been a star. To half forward. Edwards gets there first. Can't hang on to the mark, but he's got support short. One of them's Rashuto. In fact, in the end, it's marked by Hudson. Now gives it to Rashuto, who switches.
22nd disposal.
Begley. Over to Henschel. His kick finds McGregor.
Just need to keep moving it quickly, the Crows. Move it quickly, get it into the forward line whilst it's one-on-one.
Which is exactly what McGregor didn't manage then, but Carey read the drop of the ball better than Penny. Too far out, and Carey making it look a bit harder these days than he once did.
Super tackle by Thompson, but I think he's been penalised after...
Distracting Tomo, mate. No attempt to get rid of it. No attempt to get rid of it.
And it's a cruel game. Look at the tackle. Great tackle on Burton.
He didn't dive on the ball. He was on his way to the ground and the ball finished up underneath him. That's where the rule is interpreted with no tolerance at times. Here's Maguire. St Kilda defence under fierce pressure in this quarter, been very good. Jericho, though, to Welsh, and the Crows pull one back. Or do they? Have clipped the post. And they still trail by 16 points.
Bad miss.
Let's go to Mark Aston.
Nathan Bassett limped off, and Brian Sando, the team doctor, is working overtime on his right ankle.
The kick out finds Peckett. Harvey over the top to Black. Oh, look out.
Elbow in the face, was it?
Yep.
Caught high.
You took him on, you got him high.
Took him on and you got him high. Good call by the umpire.
So Wayne Carey looks for Welsh. Good kick by Wayne Carey.
Well, Welsh has got to kick a goal.
He's not the most reliable man in front of the big sticks.
Just looking at him blowing there, it makes me think he's not all that fit. You can see he actually kept the elbow down, caught him across the throat more than the head. Still, it's a free kick.
Scott Welsh, who just kicked a post a moments ago. Got plenty of talent, just can't seem to string a lot of games together at times. From right on 50. Going to make the distance. That's a good mark in front, taken by Schwartz.
St Kilda defence has been seen as its Achilles. It has stood a stern test tonight, admirably so far. Penny to Goddard. Now Gehrig, who's coming a long way from home. Smart's gone back. I think his days of troubleshooting up forward are probably past. Rashuto now. And now Scott Stevens. They're running for him. Oh, and that's a wonderful mark by Voss. With Jericho caught under the ball. And they're all contributing back there. Really working as a team, the St Kilda back six.
They just can't get the ball into their forward line, the Saints. They're getting blocked up really well by the Crow midfielders who are stalling them. And you can see when the Saints get it across half-back, there's just no clear option to go to. Crows have really dominated the forward 50 entries in this quarter. St Kilda on the back foot, but scoring goals once they get it in there.
And the 50 entries for the night, 42-30 Adelaide's way.
And here we go again as McLeod chips it short to Jericho. Handballs into space. Massey can have a shot from here, and he does it beautifully. That's the one they needed.
Yes, they did, because they've dominated play, they've dominated possession, the Crows, in the last 10 minutes, but they just haven't been able to get it on the scoreboard. Lovely little chip kick by McLeod, the share by Jericho, and Chris Massey, neat little right foot chip to put it through. Saints desperately need to get a centre clearance.
4 goals each for the quarter. The status quo maintained. Still the Saints by a couple of kicks, and they do get a clearance. Hayes and Milne leading his opponent to the ball, and then getting under the tackle. Riewoldt and McGregor. McGregor making the spoil, but straight to Powell with his non-preferred foot. He misses everything. Crucial minutes left in this third quarter.
Smart goes short. And finds Bode, who was a late inclusion tonight for Brent Riley. Did all right too. 11 disposals now.
And Luke Ball just not paying enough respect to his opponent there. A couple of the young Saints are just trailing behind.
Doughty to half back. Push out. And it's going Mark Rashuto's way.
Great contest, Rashuto and Hayes. You'd have to say Rashuto's taken the honours to this stage.
24 disposals to Rashuto. Hayes has got 18. Welsh. Nice handball to Bode, to Johncock. Carey wrestles with Penny. They nullify each other in the end. Back of the pack lurking was Goddard. His handball found Black, who threaded it through to Harvey, and the Saints are away.
Yeah, this is a promising move. Off half-back. 2-on-1 here. Hayes.
Protected by Garrick, Tim.
It was a pity he slipped. He would have been able to break away. Harvey kept on coming. Riewoldt in front. McGregor. Riewoldt. And it does! It's the Saints by 16 points. And every time the Crows produce a challenge, the Saints produce an answer.
Well, they haven't gone into that forward 50 area too much in this third quarter, but when they do, they are mighty dangerous, and the recovery of the big fella there doesn't take the mark, but gets it at ground level and able to dribble it through. And
McGregor did everything possible there, didn't he?
Well, I think we all know he's going to be a champion over the next 10 years. Let's just hope he holds up, doesn't get injured. He's an exciting player to watch.
Riewoldt gets his first of the night. Again, it's the Saints by 16. Rashuto. Possession number 25 is an ineffective one. Maguire run down by Welsh. Here's Bode to McLeod. Burton. Back to Rashuto, who offered support. Not bad backup to have, and he finds Johncock. Chips it short to Carey. Long way from home. Leads on from Jericho. No mark paid. Ball to Voss, and the Saints out of trouble.
Guerra. Boy, he's had a good night. He's kicked 4, and he did enough to be paid the mark.
And desperately needed, because there was 1 Saint to 3 Crows.
Now Gehrig against Smart. Henschel. Rashuto. Edwards. And that's a good kick. Giving him a chance to build something. Shoe back now. Stevens, maybe too far out, although the goal is unguarded. He sees that. He goes for it. It stays alive, and Voss comfortably gives to Moyle. Saints hold firm, lead by 16 in the last 80 seconds of the quarter.
And Moyle with very little to go to. Oh, that's dangerous.
McLeod intercepts, can go on and kick a goal, but misses.
That is just so dangerous, and almost paid the ultimate penalty.
Well, a few of the Crow supporters look like they've dropped their bundle already. Got over by a long shot this game. 15 points in favour of the Saints.
With just a minute on the clock, Grant Thomas would just be hoping that he can stop Adelaide from kicking a goal. Just keep possession, let the clock run down, because it's been the Crows who've been doing most of the attacking in this third term.
50! You went miles over the mark! You went 5 metres over the mark!
50 was against Matthew Bode, and that will certainly take the pressure off the Saints' defence. Oh, no doubt about that one. Goddard short. In fact, the Saints might even have time here to pinch one. Thompson.
The Crows don't want to concede one here. Thompson to Rewalt. Oh, gutsy effort cutting across in front. Might have been Stevens. There'll be a ball up. Hudson it was who put his body on the line, cutting off Rewalt's run at the ball. So in the last 20 seconds, a kick out from goal. Gehrig tries to barge home. Guerra, always dangerous, well tackled by Edwards. Henschel, and that will be it for the quarter. Crows with some work to do here. As St Kilda go to three-quarter time, having extended the half-time lead of 11 points to 15 at the final change.
St Kilda looking to keep their unbeaten record intact in 2004. The Crows desperately need a win. They're 0-3 so far. They go to the last break, trailing the Saints by 15 points.
Well, Hudson, the ruckman, he's had a little bit of time on field. Stevens, the forward. Bode can give them some run. He's a small player, so too Schuback. They might as well use them. It's pretty tough on the Crows because they've won the centre clearances but just haven't been able to get the score on the board. Montagna, the little fellow, he'd certainly have plenty of run. Moyle hasn't had much game time, and Thompson, well, gee, he's been fantastic when he's come on towards the middle part of each quarter.
Let's go to Mark Aston.
Yeah, have a look at this, folks. This is not a great sight for Crows supporters. That's Nathan Bassett, and that's his right ankle, and that is ice around his ankle. He came off late in that third quarter. Obviously won't be going back on.
Coming up after the game tonight. Oh, Christy, my apologies, Christy.
Thanks, Stephen. Now just keep an eye on Penny. It looks like he has broken his nose. His right eye is so swollen it's almost closed, so it'll mean trouble trying to see the ball.
Don't forget, coming up the fifth quarter with Andrew Maher and Michael Christian after this game here at Amy Stadium. Hope you're enjoying the action on Network 10.
Well, they've just got to capitalise once they get it into their forward 50, the Crows, because they've dominated the centre clearances. They've got it into their forward 50 more than St Kilda, but just can't get the score on the board.
Saints have kicked 5-1 in every quarter. Their consistency faultless. Thompson's hand pass was good, except it was straight to Clark, to Bode. And Schuback, rather Gallagher, gives the Crows first crack at it. Welsh to McLeod, but he threw it. I think it's coming back for a throw. It is, and that will just about cause a riot.
Matthew! Try! Yep. Right, come in.
Let's have a look at it.
Good call, wasn't it?
A bit of a scoop more than a throw, but they have to call it as a throw.
He's got a nice eye, Luke Penny, hasn't he?
And just shows how tough they are, because that'd be hurting plenty.
He's been off under the bud already. Henschel, great tackle by Ball. Spills to Doty. His handball was too slick for Gallagher. Aussie Jones. That was a dodgy handball too. And the kick has been marked by Bode on centre wing.
That's it.
And the Saints have got plenty of numbers back. That's why he's hesitating.
Yep.
They lead by 15, and Tim Lay's got an interesting stat about St Kilda's scorecard tonight.
Yep, 5-1 every quarter, but the pattern the same too, isn't it? Every turn the Crows start with the momentum, but can't go on with it. Edwards here. High.
No, it's too high. Mid. I bet you it isn't. Hey, let's keep our hands
They're
up.
taking bets on the correctness of the decision.
Is that legal?
Michael Vozzo with, I think, as much personality as any umpire in the competition. Lays down the law firmly.
Over the shoulder. Tyson Edwards could kick this.
Well, don't they need it? The margin is 15. Hasn't had a lot of it tonight. Needs to make it count now. He's under it. It does carry home, and the Crows get the first. Robert Walls knew his Tyson Edwards. Adelaide within 9 points.
And Edwards has spent time in the back pocket, the forward pocket. They use him all over the ground. We talk about Rashuto, McLeod, Goodwin. I think Tyson Edwards is not too far behind them. Brilliant little footballer.
$42,219 people have packed into Amy Stadium tonight. They're witnessing a Saturday night special. It's the Saints by just 9 points. Ball manages to break the tackle from Welsh. Saints go to half forward. Henschel against Kazitsky. Lost it. Henschel now has an opportunity. Handballs over to his skipper. Possession number 28 around the corner. It's not a good one. It's marked by Penny.
And have a look at the nose and eye on Penny. It's really starting to swell up.
Hayes takes the mark on defensive 50. This is disposal number 21 for the Saints skipper. He finds Goddard, who loads up his target's Rewald, who attacks it, but a terrific mark. Just chopping in at the front was Burton.
Off to Rashuto. Crows pressing hard here. Doughty now. St Kilda have got to try and keep the crowd out of this game. They could become a big factor. Massey met by Powell. No free kick. Hayes. Local fans think there should have been a free. Goddard, did he trot off the mark? Nearly. Now ball.
It's gone.
Needs to get rid of it. Oh, golly. Jericho came at him and looked to have him covered. Rewalt now. Two of them coming at him. It's desperate times. Short's almost off. McGregor for Adelaide. The numbers prevail. Bode as the Crows build again. Here's John Cock. Oh, straight through his hands. Maguire. He's a cool as well as a tough customer. Rewalt, two against him. The Birdman flattened his own teammate. Left the barn door wide open. Rewalt can keep on coming. He can steady. He doesn't kick it as well as he would have liked, but he hits Gehrig, and maybe he went for him.
How many times have we seen Gehrig in front, stick the rump out and let the ball come onto his chest, and Rewalt, he will be so relieved that he got that ball because it was a 3-on-1 situation for the second time in a minute.
Well, that could be the most telling factor in the match, that one.
Gehrig kicks his third. And the margin back to 15 points.
And Gehrig, have a look at this. This is the reckless, if you like, fly by Burton. It was a 3-on-1 situation, which in the end just became an easy ball for Rewalt to take. And well done again by Gehrig.
Well, this could be one of the telling points in the match. Burton poleaxed his teammate in McGregor. McGregor was left on the ground. Rewalt snared the footy. And his kick found Gehrig, who's kicked his fourth, and the Saints again lead by 15.
Would you be unhappy about that, Rob, a player flying like that for a mark?
Look, he just can't afford to let the ball get behind you in that situation. We just see Rashuto there, 29 disposals. Andrew Thompson's got the job of closing him down in this final quarter.
Aussie Jones across half-back. A little bit fancy, but it comes off to Ball. He's run down by Doherty. Now a chance for the Crows. Picked up by John Cock. Slick hands. Here's a chance for Stevens. A long shot at goal. Has hit the woodwork. Second post into the Crows.
And she can't believe it.
Nail's not quite bitten off yet. Jones now. All St Kilda in midfield. Ball to the running veteran, Thompson. Rewald again. What a wonderful focus he is, and he's done enough. He's been given the nod.
Gee, a good kick and a good mark.
And it's open up front. Where's Gehrig? Can't get to the drop of that one. Edwards. Now Gallagher. Crows live to fight another day. Now Burton with some making up to do. John Cock led Peckett past the ball, can take Carey's hand pass now. And deliver to Stevens, a long, long way from home. Crows have got to move it quickly and effectively. This time all the St Kilda players are flattened, and McLeod can run all the way home and with the left foot kick the lifting goal. And it was just vintage Andrew McLeod, given a little bit of space, used his pace, opened up the angle. Good effort there by Voss. Even better effort by McLeod to win possession. Just see, opens it up, confident enough to go onto his non-preferred side, and he puts his team back in the contest.
So Andrew McLeod, some old-fashioned brilliance from the Crows midfielder. And you just get the feeling there's a couple of chapters left in the story tonight. The margin is 8 points in favour of the Saints, who are trying to keep their unbeaten record in 2004 intact. The Crows desperately need 4 points. Free kick going Adelaide's way. Here's the skipper again. What a night he's had. That's 30 touches. Maguire clears. It's a good kick too. It finds, perhaps fortuitously, Aussie Jones. Lenny Hayes. That's his 24th touch. Here's Gary. He's got 4. Swings onto the left. Shouldn't miss and nails it. Five to Gehrig. And again, the Saints had the answer.
Well, a quick answer, and you'll see Lenny Hayes wins the footy. He aims for Riewoldt, straightens up, aims for Riewoldt, goes over Riewolt's head. Gehrig from behind, able to take the bouncing ball, turn onto his left side. And again, the Saints stretch their lead.
The Saints look to have the answers. The coach won't be content, but he can be reasonably proud of what he's seen so far tonight in the face of a big test. Bode gives Adelaide another crack, but Maguire, who has been a very fine defender, holds firm again.
Hayes winning against Rasciuto in space, in close. Rasciuto beating Hayes.
24 possessions, Hayes. Burton just a little guarded in his run at the pack that time. I thought he might have held a bit back.
He did. And there we see Andrew McLeod playing as a half-forward flanker. Heath Black has been on McLeod for the last 3 quarters, desperately trying to close him down.
Fraser Gehrig, by the way, up to 20 goals for the season, averaging 5 a game. Noble has had a pretty good night.
Oh, kick for touch.
Throw it in.
And this means Riewoldt will ruck against Clark. You'd expect Clark to win.
Watch the arms, guys. Keep those arms there, Lenny.
Clark comfortably, but he gave it straight to Hayes. Del Santo found some space. Across the face, Gehrig and Smart. And Smart keeps it in play, but there's a couple of Saints there. One of them's Kazitsky. He's got Harvey in support. Good tackle by Doughty. To Hayes again, having a wonderful last quarter. Burton's underneath it. 2 Crows spoil themselves. Edwards desperate to Burton. Clearing kick. Aussie Jones getting there marked. Decides to play on. Has a shot at goal across the face. Still in play. Edwards, in the end, has no choice but to concede a point.
The battle lines have moved, though, haven't they? The Crows are playing for survival.
Well, the Crows have got numbers back behind the ball, so they're getting it in the defensive 50, but really struggling to get it out from there.
Hayes, 7 touches so far in the last quarter.
Plenty of time, but not a lot of momentum with Adelaide at the moment. Begley to Henschel. Now Burton. Has never really been able to generate enough momentum to rattle St Kilda. McGregor. And they're forced short. Bode. Can't even find a short option. Burton again. Long and wide. Stevens couldn't hang on. Noble straight to John Cock. Kick and hope. Rasciuto.
And Rasciuto moved to full forward, Tim. Brett Voss, his opponent. And you can see Rasciuto saying to his teammates, get out, give us some space in this forward 50 area, don't clog it up.
Clearing kick only as far as Massey. Keeps it alive to Burton. Into the pocket, over the head of John Cock. Clark against Noble. The big fella does well. Now squares it up into the corridor, but Harvey gets there for St Kilda. Now he's off and running. Saints away. Rewalt's in the middle. Receives now. Told to play on. Goes long, looks for Gehrig against Smart. Again, Gehrig.
Oh, sensational.
That was sensational. That was a real finger-tipper.
And his 7th contested mark for the game, Fraser Gehrig. And again, they're just about all the same. It's get in front, a little bit of a prop, keep your opponent behind you, and use your skill and strength to take the mark. And he took this one down at knee level.
Well, Fraser Gehrig's got 5. He's got 20 for the season. And look at the reaction to Gary Hughes. He can't guard against that.
And full credit to Rewalt, because he looked up, was looking to go short. In the end, realised he had to kick it long to Gehrig.
He's got 249 in his career. And that's the way it will stay. First poster of the night to the Saints. Gehrig's got 5 goals, 2. And St Kilda lead by 16 points as we almost reach the halfway mark of the last quarter.
Saints have set up a zone defence, and the little chip pass finds Begley.
Again, Adelaide go wide. McGregor. Well, big ask here. Stengline against Noble. All St Kilda. Powell to ball, but not a good result. Begley. Crows just can't get anything happening. No rapid movement. Edwards. Maybe this will be better. Doughty gives it back to him. John Cock, their hope. Good pair of hands. And a good strong body as he held his ground.
He's got Wayne Carey running hard back. Now Carey's cut back towards the player with the ball. John Cock says no.
And that was not really a good placement. Ball's ball. And it might well be the Saints' game.
It was a strange option in the end, Robert, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Didn't really give his tall forwards any chance.
Oh, it's almost cut off. In fact, it is by Welsh. But he can't get there before the boundary line beats him. But at least for the Crows, it's inside their attacking 50.
We've
Pressure now.
Seen St Kilda do that a few times, and the mistake Maguire makes is that he doesn't go to meet the football. Lets the football come onto him, enables the Crows to get a spoil.
So the pressure builds. Stengline didn't have much support. Del Santo squeezed the kick out nicely to Aussie Jones.
And Aussie got absolutely no one to go to downfield. Has to wait for his mates to run forward.
And has to wait for a long time. Schwarz. Rewalt running hard on the lead. A good kick and a great run.
Mark number 10, Tim.
He's been superb. He and Gehrig, in the absence of Hamill, have done the work of 1.5 men each. They've been superb. And here is the other member of the tandem. Smart makes the spoil. Harvey, Powell. Now Hayes, St Kilda pressing. Peckett there, and Guerra waiting down. Has been dangerous all night. Peckett tied up and gone. Free kick to Adelaide.
And the Lenny Hayes kick was his 8th for the quarter.
27 for the match. He's got 10 marks also.
They've just got to move the ball quickly. Less than 8 minutes to go. They need 4 goals to win. Yeah. They've just got to move the ball on really quickly, the Crows. And directly.
3 would do it.
You had your arm all over his shoulder. You had your arm all over his shoulder, Wayne. That's right there.
So free kick at half back to the Saints.
I think Wayne Carey was saying excellent decision up.
13 to 11. It's the free kick count in favour of the Crows.
Out of bounds. Out of bounds.
It is out of bounds.
I didn't hear the call. I didn't hear the call. It's out of bounds. Easy. Let's just get it in.
Crows fans have plenty to cheer about tonight.
Ooh.
Noble. Hayes again. What a star he's been. Harvey, quick kick under pressure into the middle. Doughty to Henschel. Good kick out wide. Now here's the chance. James Gallagher goes inside 50. The kick's good. Finds Rashuto. It's a tough ask from there, though. He'll be kicking from about 48 metres out on a pretty tight angle.
He can do it.
He's a thumping kick. Mark Rashuto tonight. 31 disposals, 3 marks. He's lining up for his 2nd goal. It's St Kilda by 16. Crows need 3 goals in 6.5 minutes to pinch this match. So Rashuto, a must-kick goal, but it is a big ask from here. And that's just a point. So it's 15 points, the margin in favour of the Saints. 107 plays, 92.
Stephen Powell off, Andrew Thompson on. It continues the rotations of the St Kilda midfield.
They need a goal, which is a statement of the obvious, but if they could kick one, the climate of the game could change. The crowd would come alive, and you never know what might happen. Noble in front, and Hudson couldn't prize it away from the big Saint. Harvey, who's been used sparingly, started this quarter on the bench as he did the previous one. Thomas has rotated his men very intelligently. Guerra started this last quarter on the bench, and the Saints have run out every quarter better than Adelaide.
Saints haven't got a ruckman here. Lenny Hayes will have to do it.
Beautifully done, Hudson to Gallagher. Crows make the break. Carey just could not get into it. Black to Schwarz to Jones, and St Kilda continue to hold firm.
Well, we've said it on many occasions tonight, but St Kilda, just every time they've been challenged, have come up with the answer. And that is a sign of a very good side. But there's still a slight chance for Adelaide if they can pinch a quick goal.
How's it going?
Schwarz kicks in the direction of Kaczynski.
Well, they've kept possession with 6 uncontested marks.
The big wind-up from Justin Kaczynski. Looks for Gehrig. Milne, front and centre. Got the handball out to Thompson. 5 minutes to go.
High, got him high.
Free kick going
Yeah,
Adelaide's
got one in the
way.
head.
Take a while for the ball to come back. Shoe back. A little sick and sorry. The Crows meandering at the moment, really not giving any signs that they have the wherewithal to steal this game, and it would be robbery now. St Kilda have been their master through the evening. McGregor been a good contributor for the Crows. Massey gone forward. Harvey, though, playing steadily. Penny, now Rewalt. St Kilda, the team, looking more likely to kick one.
That's it there. That's me.
Now Goddard. Now St Kilda just run the clock a little. Black going wide for him.
He's just had a dozen uncontested marks, Tim, in the last 5 minutes. They are just working the clock down, denying the Crows the ball, frustrating the Crows crowd.
And for a team just arriving, St Kilda are playing with great composure. Here's Gehrig again. Adelaide with numbers against him. Smart to McGregor. But where does a goal come from? Where does the build-up come from? Doughty. And now they go backwards.
Kick to the wing. Harvey nudges Stevens under the ball. And Peckett sees it safely over the line. So they're running out of time here, the Saints. Beg your pardon, the Crows. Saints lead by 15. And it appears they're going to keep their unbeaten record intact. The only undefeated team remaining in the comp after the demise of Brisbane. Kangaroos play tomorrow, of course. As Rashuto from 55 has kicked a goal. So Rashuto gets his second. And it's 9 points, but is there time left?
Well, there's time left, and you can see the hit by Maguire on Carey. John Cock with the quick hands, and the skipper certainly hasn't given up. I reckon a few of the crowd have, and he puts that through to keep them alive. What they need is a quick clearance, and Matthew Clark is just the man to set up one of the ground players. McLeod is in there. Stengline's in there at ground level, going to do a tagging job on Harvey.
Crows have won it out of the middle 19 times to 8 for the night. This is the biggest of them. And Harvey wins it for St Kilda to Hayes to Jones as the Saints hold up under the onslaught again, and Gehrig can line them up.
Well, they've answered every challenge, St Kilda. Whenever it's got to 6 points, 9 points, Crows have scored a goal. The Saints have been able to answer it straight away. And Lenny Hayes, is he playing a fantastic last captain's quarter?
From set shots for the night, the Saints have kicked 7-1. Fraser Gehrig for number 6 to put the Crows away. He's done it, and the Saints will remain unbeaten. They have produced an answer at every turn, and they are going to score a deserved victory. And tonight, Robert Walls, they have arrived. They've really earned their stripes.
Well, Tim, they've been fantastic, and Robert Harvey's led the way with Lenny Hayes in this last quarter. The two key forwards in Riewoldt and Gehrig have had wonderful games. Gehrig with 9 marks, Riewoldt with 11. And 10 games have been played here at Amy Stadium between these two teams. The Crows winning 9 of them, the Saints just the 1. This will be the Saints' second win on this ground.
250 career goals to Fraser Gehrig. Lenny Hayes has had 11 touches in the last quarter. Aussie Jones 10. McGregor.
Still, mate.
Kick finds Edwards.
Yours.
Back inside 50 go Adelaide. And Voss once again backing back.
Courage.
Yeah.
Well, I agree with you, Tim. Riewoldt and Gehrig have played 1.5 games each to cover for their mate Hamill, who's out.
That's it.
As I said, St Kilda are going to be on top of the ladder. They could be joined by the Roos tomorrow, but the Roos could knock off the Swans in Canberra after the demise of Port Adelaide and Brisbane this afternoon. McGregor once again. And Voss once again.
Still, mate.
Del Santo. Still in play. Voss attacks it. Schwarz to Harvey. To the wing, and Riewoldt. Nick Riewoldt. This is disposal number 17. He's taken 11 marks, make that 12. A dozen marks, 17 disposals to Nick Riewoldt.
Well, he averages around the 10 marks a game, which is just a sensational effort for a key forward.
McLeod for Adelaide, but they have been aimless for much of this last quarter. Garrick's taken 9 marks, so they've taken 21 between them in those key forward posts. Garrick 6 goals. But they've had plenty of contributing mates around them. Been a wonderful night for St Kilda. Clark gives Adelaide 30 metres or so, but Black will take it all back and more. Kosicki through his fingers, letting in the other number 23. McLeod, Stengline gives it back to him. But the fist in there prevented Rashudo marking it, and Maguire gratefully mopped it up. Bad miss, Massey. Adelaide free kick.
Just looking ahead to next week, Tim, the Saints have got the Kangaroos. So it could be a battle of the undefeated teams. Smart at half-back. And there's the siren. That is a terrific win by the Saints. They had challenge after challenge thrown at them, and they responded to win by 15 points and maintain their unbeaten record in 2004. Robert Walls.
A terrific effort, Stephen. They had 3 regulars out. Hamill, who was suspended, Baker, who was suspended, and Blake, who was badly injured last week. They've come over here to a ground where they've had very little success in the past, and they just worked as a team, as we've seen from the start of the Wizard Cup, which they won, through to the first 4 rounds. They are undefeated. They are on a mission, and I just like the way that these young players play, and the fact that Grant Thomas puts the young blokes out there, gives them responsibility, and they certainly are not letting him down. And for the Crows, well, it's 4 losses straight to start the season. Tough year ahead for them.
Let's go to Christy Malthouse with the man who kicked 6 goals tonight for the Saints. Go for it, Christy.
Fraser, you've kept your unbeaten record intact. You silenced the crowd, but is it more important that you answered every challenge they threw at you?
Yeah, we did. It seemed like we were running up and down on the spot in the last quarter. Just might have done the 5-day break we had, but it was a bit of a slog in that last quarter, and it was good to get it coming over the 4 points, and yeah, good start to the season.
Another great game for you. You're averaging 5 goals a game. You're just playing with so much confidence and paying off the great delivery from your teammates.
Yeah, it's the midfield. It doesn't matter what I do. It's the midfield that gets it down there, and got a couple of lucky ones tonight, so it was good to finish them off.
Just lucky, are they?
Yeah. It's the midfield. Credit goes to the midfield and the back line. They held up pretty well in the last quarter.
Well done.
Cheers, everyone.
6 goals to Fraser Garrick, finishing with 6 goals too, and he's got 21 for the season.
A long walk for Gary Ayres across Amy Stadium. It's the first time since his first year in Adelaide, the year 2000, that the Crows have lost their first 4. He's looking down the barrel at the moment.
And as Fraser Garrick said, it was just a 5-day week for St Kilda. They played on Easter Monday, and I know that they've been pretty much nursed through the week by the fitness staff. A lot of work in the salt water to freshen them up for this match.
So the Saints go into round 5 with a 4-0 record. Unfortunately for the Adelaide Crows, they're at the other end of the ladder with 0-4. But tonight, St Kilda answered every challenge to defeat Adelaide by 15 points. So the Saints, saying that with a fair bit of gusto, as we always say, it's a good sign that that meant a lot to them tonight. It's only their 2nd win here against the Adelaide Crows ever.